So it turns out I may have a slight addiction to social media. If you'd like to interact with me in our community or even throw some theories or topics my way, in the description you can find the link to my Twitter and our community Discord server. I'd really like to hit 1,000 followers on Twitter and 400 members in our Discord server, as we're really close to hitting both. So your support towards our community would really mean a lot to me. I know I've sprinkled this topic throughout my channel for a long time now, and even more recently I covered it again, although minorly in an imaginative video about cool concepts Square could do with their IPs. But when you think of popular titles by Square Enix, many of course will mention Final Fantasy, Dragon Quest, and more obviously for this channel, Kingdom Hearts. But there's another game that lives on in the hearts of many fans of Square, and that game is Chrono Trigger. I'm serious, go online and check out those polls of the most timeless JRPGs of all time, and you'll more than likely always see Chrono Trigger on those lists. Now, normally this would be where I do my little YouTuber thing of transitioning onto what makes Chrono Trigger such an amazing game, but I've actually already done that. So we have a half an hour of power in a completely other video that you guys can go catch up on if you'd like. It'll be in the card up top, or you could just check out the description of the video, it'll be there too. But I kind of just want to go more in depth than I have before about how I'd like a re-release of this game to be. Nothing I say here is definitive whatsoever. You can feel free to completely despise my opinion by the end of this if you really want to, but I also did want to clarify too that this is going to be referring to an actual remake of the game and not a simple port or anything like that with minor fixes in terms of say, oh, it's in 4K now, or just re-releasing say the mobile version or PC version over to PS4 and stuff. I mean a straight up remake. I really think that part of the reason Chrono Trigger is so timeless is not just because of how amazing the characters are, how wonderful the story is, and how amazing the world itself is to explore, but also because of how charming the game is visually. It aged very well for a 25-year-old game. As I'm sure you know, there are many games that are younger than it that didn't age as gracefully. I'm talking to you, N64. The cute animations of characters reflecting their emotions, whether it be angry, sad, feeling despair, or overcome with joy. Many feel that a sprite-based 2D game can't pull this kind of thing off well, but Chrono Trigger is just one example of that statement being completely proved wrong. If they were going to remake Chrono Trigger, it needs to be in the style of Octopath Traveler. And I'm sure any of you who are watching this video right now, that if you've played Octopath Traveler, then you know the exact reason I'm going to be going forward here. If they do decide to remake Chrono Trigger, I would need this game to end up being in the style of Octopath Traveler. And I'm sure any of you who are watching this video right now who have seen the game or played it for yourself, you know exactly the reason what I'm going to be speaking about. Octopath Traveler gives off the familiarity of the old school SNES days of gaming while going full speed ahead on improving it at nearly every angle. Very modern game design, streamlined mechanics, and a world so beautiful it puts even modern 3D JRPGs to shame in some areas. The aesthetic of the 2D sprites on 3D environments is something we don't see that often in gaming because it's really difficult to pull off well, as it can make the characters feel like they're out of place and give off an unnatural vibe, which can overall distract and push away the player even. When people think of Chrono Trigger, for 25 years people have thought about these specific characters in this fashion, and I feel to reel in new and old fans of Chrono Trigger, it's the safest bet to go this way. And even though I really hate to say this, I do take some comfort in knowing I'm not the only one who feels this way, but the main artist for Chrono Trigger is Akira Toriyama, the creator of Dragon Ball. And honestly, to me and a lot of other people, they just don't look nearly as charming in this style than they do in their normal sprite forms. And I feel this is solely because Akira Toriyama was the artist. And I'm not trying to knock his art style or anything because I love his work for the Dragon Quest series and Dragon Ball itself. And even more so, this isn't the fault of the characters' designs being poor, far from it honestly. It just does not translate well in a style it was never truly imagined in. And that leads into the topic of how many I know who haven't played Chrono Trigger would prefer it to be in the style of the more recent Dragon Quest XI. And I won't lie, Dragon Quest XI is a beautiful feeling game from top to bottom. Like, oh man. And I feel Dragon Quest's transition from 2D to 3D went very, very well in fact. But I feel this comes from the developers of this series specifically getting better at translating Toriyama's style until finally dang near perfecting it for Dragon Quest XI. And I know some people may feel it's not fair to compare 3D models of Dragon Quest XI to the anime cutscenes of Chrono Trigger, and I know that's not exactly the fairest comparison, but it's something I just can't help but feeling when I go and think about this topic, and I do know that, again, I'm not the only one who feels this way as well. So yeah, if the same team that did Dragon Quest did the Chrono Trigger remake, I wouldn't be surprised if it turned out beautiful, but I feel sacrifices would have to come into play with this game, specifically going 3D, and the speed and flow of the game is a big thing I mean here. Chrono Trigger was known for its seamless overworld to battle transitions. No loading screen, no fade out, characters just run to a clear spot and prepare for battle, which leads to continuous battles being way less exhausting. So you don't have to wait for the enemies appearing on screen and then the party being shown and then being able to fight. I also feel it's easier for 2D JRPGs to be cooler without compromising the pacing of the battle in this sense, as 3D JRPGs are known to constantly show over-the-top animations of moves. Of course, they're stylish and super cool, we all freaking love them, but when you're fighting over and over and over the span of however many hours, you're just trying to get a move on with the regular enemies at times. While 2D JRPGs like Chrono Trigger and Octopath are very, very stylish with their battle capabilities without compromising the flow of battle. They're usually stylish yet short and sweet at the same time. It may not seem like it, but the time it takes up for all those over-the-top animations we all love so much really adds up over the span of the game. So yeah, that's generally why I think an Octopath-styled Chrono Trigger remake would be perfect. The beautiful landscapes and weather conditions, the fluid and super stylish aura and magical abilities in combat, alongside a hopefully well-rounded and highly talented cast of voice actors. Chrono can stay silent for majority of the time, except for when he calls out the text he wants to use, or a morale-boosting battle to a party member, or call to arms with them. And lastly, dialogue options during side quests and the main story would be amazing as well. But man, this video was really fun to make. I really like Chrono Trigger. I really felt this when I was just pinning all this down. I just had so much fun doing it, and being able to have an outlet to share this love for something that I really care about with is honestly fantastic. So let me know if you guys like this by hitting the like button, so that way I can upload more videos like this. And hitting the bell after subscribing would make sure you never miss a video like this ever again. Let me know down below which kind of Chrono Trigger remake you would prefer, the Dragon Quest XI style remake, or if you would prefer a Octopath Traveler style remake. Also, by the way, I do have an Instagram account that I do use now. So if you guys want to give me a follow and tag me in cool fan art of video game characters and stuff like that, definitely do so. But thank you all so much for watching. My name is KingdomAce, and remember, my warriors of courage, to stay strong, stay beautiful, and always look skyward.